Can Google detect Jasper.AI content? That's the question that we're going to dig into today. So, who am I to be able to sort of have this conversation? I've previously built and sold a content marketing agency that was heavily based off of the use of AI. We were the heaviest users of Jasper for a period of time. We built a tool, our own AI, that's called Originality.AI, which is the world's first tool that is built to be able to predict if content has been produced by GPT-3, and it's also a plagiarism checker built for sort of modern web publishers. So we're going to look at a series of posts that get produced by Jasper, and then look to be able to see if we can detect them using our internally built AI. Which, if we can, then that sort of shows that certainly Google would be capable of determining that as well. And so, why do we care if Google can detect if content has been produced by AI? The genie is certainly out of the bottle with AI content creation. It's an incredibly powerful tool, but Google's trying to figure out how to ensure that it's does not make the internet a worse place, and therefore fewer people will rely on search, and more people would switch to a different method of finding out their information online if the content on the internet was no longer able to be trusted. So what does that mean? Google certainly come out saying that AI content bad, but has left wiggle room to say straight spam AI content bad, but AI content, use of AI content tools to then as a starting point for creating a useful article is not necessarily bad. So certainly right now it's working. AI content published. This is a site that one of my sites that we've been using AI content on heavily, with then a human editor to review it, and it's been continuing to grow nicely. And this is small numbers, but certainly others out there are producing even much more significant numbers. So let's go take a quick look. We're going to go through a bunch of pieces of content getting produced by Jasper, and then run them through Originality.AI. So Jasper is a tool that's built on the back of OpenAI's GPT-3 to be able to produce content, a bunch of different forms of content, love letters, captions, video scripts, tons of stuff, with pretty limited input. So here we're going to just put in what is Jasper.AI, hit generate a piece of content, and then we're going to go and check that piece of content on Originality.AI. We're going to be using just the one-shot blog post for sort of the speed of this video, and then just copy it to the clipboard. Head over to Originality.AI. And so what Originality.AI is it's a AI tool that we've built ourselves to scan and then predict if content was generated by any of the popular natural language processing APIs. And so here in this case, 100% hit that this piece of content was generated by AI. So I'm going to kind of save you guys the length of going through each of these, but I'm going to keep sort of pausing and doing it as live as I can to show the results. So that article got tagged at 100% AI, and we're going to keep going through. I'm just showing the example of how we're going to kind of test this, not just across one, because what's interesting about Originality.AI is in this case it showed up as 100% AI, but it's a little bit like forecasting for rain, and so it's the probability that it's AI. If it says it's 100% going to rain, good chance that you should grab your umbrella. If it's 50-50, it's like, so that's I think that's relevant for kind of the next steps here as we see kind of where some of these scores land, that we wouldn't expect it to be 100% across the board, but we'll keep running through this, and we'll do one more here fully live, and then I'll pause and keep going with the others and show, and then come back and summarize the results. This is how Jasper.AI works. Head over to Originality.AI, plug it in, scan it, and we will see where it scores. And so yeah, it's definitely if it's AI, I think one thing that is important to understand is that for everyone, 100% AI does not necessarily mean that is a bad thing for them. If the content can still be found to be used as a starting point for the creation of a great, useful article, that's a good outcome. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to pause this, and then I'll come back and we can look at the results. Okay, so we have just finished running all the scans. I think it took us that's one of the super impressive things about Jasper. I'm just gonna have a quick look at how long ago did we run those first articles. But yeah, I think we were within 10 minutes. Basically, we've created seven articles and checked them for originality, so whether they've been plagiarized and the probability that they were created by AI. And so what you can see here is for those 7 articles that were created, we had 100% AI, 100%, 99%, 92%, 62, 2, and 99. So sort of one of them was a little bit of a miss in terms of predicting whether or not that piece of content had been created by AI. But for the majority, they were all flagged as plagiarized. So what I've done is I've got a copy of every example, so that sort of if you want to read through them in more detail, I'll link to a post where I share these results. But I think the bottom line is that if we're capable of producing AI that can successfully predict if content was created using a natural language processing tool, and in this case with Jarvis, or excuse me, with Jasper GPT-3, then I think we have a pretty high confidence that Google is capable of determining that. What you do with that information, do you modify it so that it doesn't look, I think there's questions for that every content marketer needs to answer, but I'm a big believer in understanding the risk profile of the content that you're publishing, and having content that is easily identified as generated by AI content is riskier than content that was not generated by AI. And I think whether or not you're publishing all the content yourself, or whether or not you're hiring writers and hoping they don't use AI, their incentive is certainly to make their life easier and more efficient. So Originality.AI was built for web publishers to be able to understand the originality of the content that they're putting up there. On originality meaning, was it plagiarized, was it copied, and did this come from kind of a human's mind? So anyways, there we have it with the study. World's first GPT-3 AI detector, showing that content from Jasper is able to be predicted. All right, take care.